In the dry, relentless bush of Tanzania, this single moment means protein, strength, and life for a family. Miss, and there are no second chances. This is the world of the deadly Hadza, one of Africa's last true hunting tribes. They have a thirst for meat, baboon meat. These men aren't just hunters, they're walking libraries of ancient knowledge. Every skill, every subtle movement has been passed down through hundreds of generations. They move through the landscape not as visitors, but as part of it. And their chosen prey is no simple animal. Baboons are terrifyingly intelligent. They live in complex, hierarchical troops with sentries and sophisticated communication. They can be aggressive, coordinated, and brutally strong. Hunting them is a calculated risk, a brutal arithmetic of survival. The nutritional payoff of a large male is immense, but so is the danger of confronting an entire troop. This calculation dictates their tools, primarily a bow and arrows tipped with a slow-acting poison brewed from the desert rose plant. It's a weapon that demands precision and patience. The hunter's mindset is a complex mix of fierce determination and deep respect. They understand the baboon's power, and that respect is what keeps them alive. There's no bravado here, only the quiet acceptance of a dangerous task that must be done. The preparation is over. The silent pursuit begins. The hunt truly starts long before any prey is ever seen. It begins on the ground in the dirt. A hunter's eyes scan the earth, reading a story written in signs the untrained eye would never notice. A single, broken twig, angled a specific way, becomes a road sign. A faint impression in the dust reveals the animal's size, speed, and how recently it passed. It's like reading an invisible language. They also listen, filtering the sounds of the bush, the birds, the insects, for any alarm calls that might betray a predator's or their prey's movement. Understanding the enemy is everything. The hunters predict the troop's path based on time of day, knowledge of water sources, and the types of trees that bear the fruit baboons favor. The stalk that follows is a masterclass in control. They move with a slowness that defies every human instinct to hurry, placing each foot with deliberate, silent care. Every sense is tuned to the environment. The direction of the wind must mask their scent. The angle of the sun must not throw a revealing shadow. This intense awareness turns the entire landscape into a tool, a weapon. And then, after hours of this painstaking work, it happens. A flicker of movement in the distance. The first visual contact. The troop is found. The approach, the most dangerous phase, can now begin. This is the most dangerous part of the entire hunt. You're still invisible, but one mistake, a snapped twig, a shift in the wind, a single cough, and everything is over. The hunters must close a gap of 200 meters down to maybe 20, all while remaining completely undetected by one of nature's most vigilant alarm systems. Baboons operate a sophisticated sentry system. High-ranking females and younger males often perch in trees, constantly scanning the horizon for threats like leopards, eagles, and now, them. The hunter's progress becomes a series of frozen pauses and agonizingly slow, calculated advances. They move only when the sentries are distracted by grooming, feeding, or looking in the opposite direction. Patience isn't just a virtue here. It's a survival tactic. They might hold a single, cramped position for an hour or more, muscles burning, waiting for the perfect alignment of circumstances. They're not just watching the sentries. They're reading the entire troop, searching for the optimal target. It's not just about size and meat. They're looking for an animal that's slightly isolated, perhaps older or slower, one whose takedown won't immediately provoke a mass counterattack from the entire group. The tension is a physical thing, a wire pulled taut. Each hunter's heartbeat seems to sync with the slow, deliberate rhythm of the stalk. The distance shrinks meter by painful meter. 50 meters, then 30. The air is thick with the smell of dust, animal fur, and the intense, focused silence of the hunters. They are now inside the baboon's world, unseen ghosts preparing to strike. The bow is raised, the arrow is nocked, every sense is screaming. The moment of release is seconds away. The thwip of the bowstring is barely audible, but the chaos it unleashes is instantaneous. The arrow finds its mark, and the reaction from the troop is an explosive wave of sound and movement. The struck baboon shrieks, a raw, piercing alarm call that triggers pure bedlam. This is where the theoretical danger becomes terrifyingly real. Baboons aren't passive prey. They're powerful, armed with long canine teeth that can inflict devastating wounds, and they will defend their troopmates with shocking ferocity. The hunters are no longer stealthy predators. They are now the targets. The initial goal is immediate distance. They must back away quickly from the enraged troop while keeping eyes on their prize. The poison on the arrow isn't instant. It's a slow-acting cardiac toxin that takes time to work. The hit baboon, confused and adrenalized, might still charge or try to flee, and the healthy males will often swarm toward the perceived threat, the hunters. This is a critical window of extreme vulnerability. The hunters use their knowledge of the terrain, putting trees and thick brush between themselves and the charging animals, shouting and waving to create a defensive barrier. It's a frantic, dangerous dance. The real risk comes next: retrieval. They must now claim the prize from the midst of a defensive, agitated group. They wait for the poison to do its work, for the animal to weaken and separate from the troop. Approaching too early means facing a fully capable fighting animal and its protectors. Waiting too long risks the troop moving off and dragging the body with them, or a scavenger like a hyena swooping in. It's a calculated gamble made under extreme duress. Finally, as the animal succumbs, they move in with spears ready, not for the kill, but for defense, ensuring the rest of the troop has truly retreated before quickly and efficiently securing their hard-won food. The chaos subsides as suddenly as it began, leaving behind the heavy silence of the bush and the profound weight of what just happened. There's no time for celebration. The immediate aftermath of the kill is a lesson in brutal efficiency. The hunters quickly move the heavy carcass to a more secure location, their eyes still scanning the bush for any lingering threats from the troop or new ones from scavengers. The field processing begins immediately. Using small, sharp knives, they skin and butcher the animal with practiced speed. Every part has a purpose. Nothing is wasted. The organs, rich in immediate nutrients, might be eaten on the spot to replenish the tremendous calories burned during the hunt. The prime, muscle meat is carefully prepared for carrying. This isn't just about one meal. This is about provision. The meat will be divided according to strict cultural protocols that strengthen the community's bonds. The hunter who made the kill gets a specific share, but so do his companions, his family, and other families in the camp. A successful hunt feeds more than just the hunting party. It becomes a shared resource that sustains the entire group. The walk back to camp is its own kind of ordeal. They're now carrying 40 or 50 pounds of fresh meat through the same difficult, thorny terrain they just navigated with stealth. The physical burden is immense, but it's a weight they carry with pride. When they finally arrive back at camp, the reception is quiet but deeply meaningful. There are no cheers, just nods of acknowledgement and relief. The women might take over the final preparation, cooking the meat and distributing it. The act of sharing is as important as the act of hunting. This food represents more than just calories. It's a direct connection to their identity, their ancestors, and their place in the world. It's a reaffirmation of a way of life that has persisted against all odds. The respect shown to the animal continues through its consumption. Its life has been taken, but its energy will now sustain the life of the community. We have to understand this hunt through the cold, hard math of survival. This isn't a documentary scene. It's a high-stakes economic transaction, with life itself as the currency. Let's break down the caloric mathematics. A hunt like this might involve a party of 3 men walking 15 miles in intense heat over 8 or 10 hours. They're burning thousands of calories just in the pursuit. The payoff? A large male baboon might yield around 40 pounds of edible meat and organs, representing roughly 40,000 to 50,000 calories. That sounds like a win until you factor in the failure rate. Most hunts, the vast majority, end empty-handed. The hunters return with nothing but exhaustion, so that one successful kill has to offset all those failed attempts, nourishing the hunters enough to go out and fail again tomorrow. This explains why they take such immense risks with a dangerous animal like a baboon. It's not a preference. It's a necessity driven by caloric density. Smaller game, like dik-diks or birds, are safer, but provide a fraction of the nutrients. A single baboon can feed families for days. It's the only prey that justifies the enormous energy investment with a sufficient payoff. But the real cost is changing. The biggest threat to this ancient economic system isn't the baboon's teeth. It's the encroachment of the modern world. Their traditional hunting grounds are shrinking, squeezed by agriculture, pastoralism, and tourism. The very animals they depend on are being displaced. This creates a desperate paradox. The skills they possess are some of the most sophisticated survival knowledge on the planet, yet they're becoming less viable by the year. They are quite literally the last of their kind, living a lifestyle that is vanishing before our eyes. The essential, brutal truth is that this isn't a choice. It's not a cultural performance or a reality show. For the Hadza, the hunt for baboon meat remains a non-negotiable, dangerous, and absolutely vital act of survival. It is the foundation upon which their entire existence is built, and that foundation is crumbling. This documentary pulls back the curtain on the raw, unfiltered reality behind every single meal in their world, a reality most of us are completely disconnected from. This hunt represents one of humanity's last direct survival relationships with nature. Their incredible skill and courage highlight what we've lost in our modern disconnect from where food actually comes from. It shows the raw reality behind every single meal in their world. For more incredible documentaries from around the globe, subscribe and hit that notification bell.